Hi, so great to have you here today. The topic today is take a break from stress. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can see this wonderful background with the sparkling ocean and beach and palm trees. Help you get into the mood of the show today. And for the rest of you, I'll try to do it through my voice and content. Before I begin, I want to say hello to my listeners in New York, New York. Thanks for being here. You must be telling each other you like the show because the listeners there is just growing so quickly. So thank you for supporting my show. It means a lot. Let me jump right in here. There's so much stress in the world today, and that's why I decided I need to do shows like this one today to try to help you. Back when I worked in mental health, I would go to women's expos and have a booth for the county mental health program. And I decided I would do stress tests at this booth because women have always had a lot of stress. And so I would have women do this checklist. And on the left side of the page were happy stressors. And on the other side of the page were negative stressors. And so some equal the other. Like, for instance, death in the family is equal to the stress of a birth in the family and things of that sort. So, and most of the women, and understand this was over 16 years ago, most of those women were at about a 6 on a scale out of 10 being the highest. Now, with all the chaos in our country and the world, people are walking around at a 6, maybe a 7 on any given day, any time. So then when stress comes into their personal lives as well, they can easily feel overwhelmed. It's possible to burn out not only on a job, but with your family, with your life. So I want to help you with this. If you're like a lot of people, you might spend too much time connected to your screen, your phone, your desk, a job in front of you. It's no way to live. I mean, we have to work, we have to pay our bills. And if you're passionate about your work, that's even better. But life is more than that. It's important to take some time for yourself as well. So you may not be able to get away for an actual vacation or even a staycation, but you can take a break. You literally owe it to yourself. Your mental health requires it. So we're going to talk about taking a break from work. And this is not just a job, but whatever, if you have duties around the house you normally do, if you're a stay-at-home mom, whatever it is, that's the normal tasks you do in your life. Taking a break from time to time is essential for all of us. And yet many people leave their vacation time unused. I was never one of those people. I used to try to save as much of my 2 weeks as I could and go for at least 10 days away where I could just be, and actually not wear a watch back in that time, not have a phone, nothing to tell time, just be. And it was glorious, I have to say, very rejuvenating. But whether you plan any kind of trip, a vacation, staycation, it's important to take a break from your job, from your routine and the demands of life, just to keep your stress levels in check. When you take a break, you are not shirking responsibility. That's important to know. You are taking care of yourself so that you'll have the stamina to be your best in life. By learning the signs that you need to take a break, you'll know when you need to schedule some time away to help you feel more refreshed and restored. I'm going to talk about the importance of taking a break, including what happens when you don't do it, and some of the signs that you really need to unwind. Later in this episode, I'll also cover some of the specific different ways to take a break, whether it's just a short break or a longer vacation. So let's talk about the risks of you not taking breaks for yourself. The body is simply not designed to respond to more than short bursts of stress. So when your stress is prolonged and pronounced and it's triggered repeatedly and regularly, that can happen in a stressful job, a conflict-ridden relationship. That situation turns into one of chronic stress, and then real health problems can set in. Chronic stress can make you more susceptible to conditions such as frequent headaches, gastrointestinal issues, high blood pressure, which brings an increased risk of heart disease and stroke. When your overall level of stress accumulates to a certain level, stress can snowball because you're constantly in a state of reactivity. So I'm going to tell you, I have a friend who was in a toxic relationship, and she even says she stayed way too long. And what happened was the cortisol was rushing through her body for so long that it destroyed part of her system. And she has a disease called Addison's disease now, and she'll have it the rest of her life. I went through an extraordinary stressful time years long, and it started destroying my organs, and I had to work really hard to regain health. So, it's a cautionary tale here. Don't let this happen to you. At this point, even positive events can feel overwhelming when your stress level gets too high. And it can take energy to enjoy anything. If you're not able to respond from a place of strength and wisdom, but you're operating from a place of anxiety, then you end up just sort of going through life on autopilot. Extended periods of stress can take a toll on your physical and mental well-being. Taking a break gives your brain and body a chance to reset, restore, and cope with the stresses of your daily life. So here's some signs that you really need to take a break, not later, but sooner. Sometimes it's obvious that you need a break. You can feel it. In other cases, stress can sneak up on you. You may not necessarily recognize when you're at risk of being overwhelmed and burned out. Somebody else might. They might tell you, hey, you need to chill. Everyone responds to stress in unique ways, which means that the signs of being overwhelmed are also highly individual. However, there are some general warning signs that apply in most cases. If you're experiencing one or more of the following, start planning some downtime, even just a little break, and just recharge your batteries. That's what it really comes down to. We are energy beings. We need to keep our energy charged. So key signs you need a break soon are changes in eating habits, cynicism about work, difficulty concentrating, getting sick more frequently, lack of energy, lack of motivation, low mood, frustration, feeling unfocused or fuzzy-headed, physical symptoms such as headaches or stomach aches, poor performance at work. Maybe normally you're an excellent employee and now you're just sort of quiet quitting, I guess. Sleep disturbances of any kind of insomnia, using drugs or alcohol to cope with stress, and withdrawing from friends, family, or coworkers that you normally enjoy being around. And that's, of course, because if the stress gets high enough, you're just trying to survive and you just need to be alone because you can't even handle other people around you. In fact, unless you already feel energized, motivated, excited, creative, and fully engaged in work and your relationships, you'd benefit from taking a break, because it's a good idea to manage stress before it becomes overwhelming. So whether it's vacations, mental health days, these little breaks we're going to talk about, it keeps you functioning at your best. You don't want to wait until you have a break, till you just feel like I'm going to discombobulate if I have to go through one more day like this. We as humans need to participate in breaks on a regular basis in order to be able to manage our stress and prevent burnout. And again, we're not just talking about burnout from work. We're talking about burnout from your children, your relationship, with a husband, boyfriend, wife, girlfriend, your friends, your family, your hobbies, life. The key is to prevent yourself from getting to the point where you absolutely need the break. It's important to note that many of these signs could also be signs of a mental health condition, such as depression or anxiety. So talk to your doctor or a mental health professional if these symptoms persist, even after you start taking breaks. What are the benefits for you of taking a break? Vacations and even shorter breaks like an afternoon off, and we're going to be talking about that, where you get some physical and psychological space from the demands of life, can bring many rewards to you. Some of the benefits you could enjoy when you take a break include reduced stress. Obviously, you feel less stress when you're not in a stressful environment. But breaks bring more than that. They interrupt the cycle of stress that can lead to being overwhelmed. And remember, the goal here is to keep your stress in check, keep it managed properly. The next thing is rest. By breaking out of that cycle of chronic stress, you can restore yourself physically and mentally to a healthier place. Next is clearer thinking. A chronically triggered stress response can lead to decreased creativity, memory problems, and other issues. So a break in the stress cycle can lead to sharper thinking and increased creativity in all areas of your life. Who doesn't want that, right? Also, increased productivity. All of this can make you better at your job, more available in your relationships of all kinds, more energetic with your family, and more able to enjoy life when you get back from your break. Taking a break not only gives you a chance to rest, but it can also promote clearer thinking and greater productivity. I promised you we were going to be talking about specific ways you can take a break from stress, and here we go. These are ideas just to help motivate you and get you started on the break time habit, whether you have 5 minutes or a few hours. Number 1, unplug and undo. Shut down all the electronic distractions, computer, tablet, phone, TV, all of it. Anything that can ping, flash, or catch your attention. Spend some time in the real world or in your own mind. All the electronic things that they bring a lot of convenience to our life, and we can connect with people easier at a distance, but it's not the same as real life contact. Shut down the monkey. And you're saying, but Ivory, I don't own a monkey. You might. Doing too many things at once disperses your energy and creates a state they call monkey mind. And that's where your thoughts are jumping restlessly from one to another. And for me, that would happen occasionally when I'm trying to sleep and I start thinking about things. And then next thing you know, I'm in this whirl, monkey mind. So take a quiet moment to be aware of your thoughts. Focus with full concentration on just being still, at least for a few minutes, to go from restless to relaxed. Next, look for shades of gray. Most people view things as black and white, a habit that gets us charged up in ways that might not be good for us. We're seeing that a lot right now with politics and other issues as well. So instead of jumping far to one side of any issue, situation, or the other, make yourself start thinking about the other possibilities in between those two extremes. It's sort of taking a break mentally and considering all the shades of gray and whatever's in front of you helps you prevent mistakes and making rash decisions. Next, take a mini vacation. Take a few hours off to clear your mind and de-stress by doing something you enjoy that relaxes you. A mini vacation can help you restore, regroup, and reassess. I do it a couple times a week. I either go for a walk to my favorite place, which is a state park with beautiful water to walk around and big trees, and there's people fishing. It's lovely. Or I go do something fun that I like. So I just, get away because I practice what I preach. Learn something new. Doing the same things over and over again every day can become daunting, and you can start to feel like you're in a rut. Try something new. Take a cooking class, learn how to play an instrument, start practicing a new language, anything that takes you away from work and your computer, just something new. So if there's anything you've always wanted to learn, there's never a better time than right now. Next, just be. Oh, a lot of us have a very difficult time doing that. Take a page out of the Taoist tradition, whose practitioners aim to live in simplicity and non-action, a state of simply being rather than constantly doing and achieving. That is a real problem here in our country, the United States. We have this mentality that we must always be doing, going, achieving. Hey, I like to achieve. I love knowing I've achieved something, but I am well aware that I also need to balance that with downtime. And so do you. It doesn't matter what your personality is, what your type is, what you're trying to achieve. It does not eliminate the need for you to balance it with not being productive. It's not a waste of time. It's part of your mental health. Next, laugh more. If you don't have anything in your day that's been funny, think about a memory that makes you laugh or brings happiness to you. It's hard to be negative when you're laughing and smiling. Maybe you have a movie, a TV show that always makes you laugh. I'm going to tell you a little secret. I have some DVDs, and one thing I don't see myself getting rid of because I don't have any streaming service that carries it is the entire series of Monty Python's Flying Circus. There you know it. You now know I have a nerd side, and that's just a part of it, let me tell you. So I will pull out one of those discs and pop it in, and I will laugh. And it also brings back great memories because I started going to the theater to see those when I was 15 with some friends who knew about them. And it brings back such great times and, carefree days. There's something for you like that. Keep it on hand. Create something. Tap into your creativity, build or paint or draw. You can put together a model. You can build a jigsaw puzzle, sew, crochet, knit, whatever it is you do that's creative. Do some of the things you normally wouldn't do because you never have the time. If you're turning off all electronics and taking a break from that, voila, you have some time. Next, monitor your thoughts. That's a big part of personal growth and spiritual growth, is really paying close attention to your thoughts. Monitor where your mind goes and learn to redirect your thoughts toward happier areas. And I am not talking about making yourself be happy all the time. That would be toxic positivity. And I will be doing an episode about that. This is something different. Get up close and personal, not with a stranger next to you in line, but take time to observe tiny details around you. Really look at something that you usually take for granted. An example of that for me, I'll just step outside. I'm lucky when I bought this house, they had already put in amazing landscaping and lots of roses and flowering bushes, shrubs, trees. And I'll go outside and I'll check my roses. I just noticed the yellow ones had bloomed today. And I'll go out and I'll smell them, literally smell the roses, yes. And I'll sometimes put up a chair and just look at the sunlight sparkling through the leaves of the tree, watch the birds, something simple, and just really focus on those details. Takes you out of your head. Next, make time to play. Focus on ways you can just have fun and get re-energized, whether it's a solitary hike or a dinner or movie with friends. Enjoy yourself. If I lived in California, I would be going to Disneyland a couple times a month, maybe more. I love going to Disneyland, and I don't need to have a child with me to enjoy it. Sometimes it's nice to go and be the child. So if you do live near it, or you live near an amusement park, be a child for the day. Give yourself permission to just go and have a blast. Take a break from the news. I feel like this is really important right now. The news has always been filled with kinds of depressing information, but lately it's been really dramatic, and it's been a whole lot of this could happen, this catastrophe could happen, this catastrophe could happen. That's not news. That's drama. That's creating drama and stress. So stay informed and then stay away from it. Give yourself a break. Do something enjoyable instead. Your mind will thank you. Try yoga. Give your mind a rest, your spirit a boost, and your body a good core and lengthening workout. And understand that doing yoga is a form of meditation. Go for a run. Get your body moving. Burn off your frustrations and be good to your heart. And if you can't run, go for a walk. I'm not a runner, but I used to be, but I will go for a walk. And I'll walk quite a long time, usually 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and I'll feel so much better. It really is a little mini vacation. Next, eat a meal without rushing. Are you one of those families that sits and eats as fast as they can and then everybody splits? Or I know of families who stand at the counter and eat. It needs to be, even if you live by yourself, you don't have a family living in your home, sitting and eating mindfully. Don't just scarf your food down as quick as you can or eat in front of your computer as you're working. Eat your meal thoughtfully, gratefully, mindfully, and really savor every bite. It's just a little piece of living in the moment, quieting, slowing things down. Next, ride a bike. Bring your own. If you live in a city, grab one of those city bikes that have popped up and take a ride. That's actually high on my list. I am getting myself a bike and I'm going to go to that park I mentioned earlier. I always see people riding bikes there and it looks glorious. That's another way you can kind of tap into just having fun, playing. Go to a museum. Take in the arts and become a little more cultured in a peaceful setting. I wish I could say that I lived in a place that had a museum like the Smithsonian. I used to grow up in Maryland. I grew up and I would go to the Smithsonian as often as I could. And it's my favorite. I love it. But all big cities have amazing museums. And even in small towns, there's local museums. Go check it out. See what the history is of your area. Go visit one you've never been to before. Go visit one you haven't been to in a long time. Drink a cup of tea. I'm blessed that my Irish grandmother gave me a love of tea. And I actually have a special like cinnamon apple flavor that if I don't feel good, if I just need a little comfort, I'll make myself a cup of that tea. And it's like love, it's swallowing love. So make sure that it is caffeine free, because what you want to do is cut out the coffee if you can, cut out the caffeine. It just gets you wired. And drink an herbal tea that actually calms you down. You see a running theme here, don't you? All the little ways that you can slow yourself down, enjoy the little moments in life more, make time for yourself, carve out some time for you. And next, spend time with your pet. I don't have pets. I'm allergic to pets. So I spend time with the neighbors' pets. When they take them for walks and I happen to be outside, I will spend time with their pets. They come running over to me and I'm going to love on them and then go scrub my hand because I'm allergic. But if you have a pet, hold it, snuggle it, talk to it, play with it. It's very helpful, very healing. You know how many people have comfort pets. They have pets that are for people with anxiety to help them calm down. It does it for anybody. Journaling. Take the time to journal, even for a few moments. It's a great way to process information. Even if you just wrote down 2 or 3 lines a day about your day in general, maybe you're starting to see angels. Maybe you heard one. Maybe you felt the touch of an angel. Any kind of supernatural, interesting experiences you're having, write the date, the time, keep track of it. Take a nap. Yes, if you can't sleep at night or you're just tired, take a nap. It's good for your soul. I used to look down on it. Maybe it's an age thing. I don't know, but I'll tell you, I'm a napper and I'm not ashamed of it, because sometimes we're just so exhausted. You know that feeling where you got to lay down or fall down? Lay down, give yourself. I always set the timer for like 30 minutes because I don't want it to affect my sleep overnight. And that seems to be just about right. I feel refreshed, but I can still sleep at night. And next, daydream. Close your eyes and just let your mind wander. Allow yourself to daydream about anything. It's okay. It's nothing specific. It's not important that you're daydreaming about anything specific, just whatever comes into your mind. And I will be continuing this topic over on my Patreon page. That's under Ivory LaNoue on Patreon. If you want to know more ways to do this, happy to share them with you. Next Sunday, the topic is going to be very good. I have a guest, Dr. BethAnne Kapansky Wright. She is a friend of mine who is a licensed clinical therapist, and she also does Akashic readings. And she's going to be explaining how much angels are involved in Akashic record reading and her amazing experiences and some of the messages she's received from angels. I know you'll really enjoy that. So in the meantime, may your angels surround you. May your angels protect you every moment, every day of your life. I'll see you next week.